You ever have one of those moments where you're like, no way this is real life, but it's happening in front of your face, and you're just standing there blinking like some poor extra in a bad sitcom? That was me 2 months ago on a Thursday morning, standing at the edge of my helipad, watching Karen from the HOA park a rusted golf cart directly in the center of it. With a folding lawn chair, a thermos, and a goddamn paperback romance novel like she was settling in for a picnic. On my property. Now I know how that sounds. Helipad? Yeah, I can already hear the eye rolls. But hear me out, I'm not some millionaire snob flying in champagne for brunch. I'm a trauma surgeon. I fly out to remote hospitals in this region a few times a week, especially since COVID gutted the rural medical infrastructure. My Bell 505 is not a toy. It's a lifeline. And that pad? It's permitted, approved, and registered with the FAA and the county. I even added soundproofing around the perimeter for the neighbors, because I'm not a jackass. But Karen? Karen didn't care. Karen, whose real name is Deborah B. Clarkson, though no one has dared call her Deborah in 6 years, is the HOA president of our upscale mountain community. Think country club meets Stepford suburbia. She walks like she owns the clouds. Wears that wide brim hat, like she's shielding herself from the truth. She's the kind of person who says things like, "We don't do that here," and for the greater harmony of the community, as if she's quoting scripture. Anyway, I get the alert from my pilot that he's 5 minutes out, coming back from a med evac. I step outside with my coffee, and that's when I see her. Just there, middle of the helipad, chin up, like the queen of denial. I walk over trying real hard to keep my New Jersey side in check, and I go, "Karen, you can't be here. He's about to land." And she smiles at me. This slow, smug, I run this bitch smile. Then says, "This is common property, Dr. Fields. The HOA board voted last night to restrict unauthorized landings." Now, I'm not sure what got me more, the fact that she thought she could override FAA jurisdiction with a damn clipboard, or that she said unauthorized landings like I was Pablo Escobar dropping off a payload. I swear I laughed. Out loud. She didn't like that. She stood up, yanked out a laminated paper, and I kid you not, she drafted some kind of fake cease and desist notice with the HOA logo in the corner. Claimed my helicopter was a disruptive aerial intrusion. Said she had full authority to ground me. I told her she had 10 seconds to move, or she was going to be on the evening news under "Local woman flattens into helipad symbol." She didn't budge. Pilot radios in, says he's circling because the pad's obstructed. I told him to divert not to the emergency backup but to plan B. See, Karen forgot one thing. I own the lot next door. Big, grassy, and empty except for the 30-foot wide easement she'd been illegally using to walk her 2 incontinent poodles every morning. I had it surveyed, permitted, and reinforced, just in case. I radioed back, "Bring it down on Site B." And 5 minutes later, as Karen watched in frozen horror, the Bell 505 slowly descended, right onto her front lawn. You could feel the power shift. Her jaw hit the turf. The entire cul-de-sac came out like prairie dogs, phones up, mouths open. My pilot stepped out cool as hell, like Tom Cruise's cousin, and handed me a Dunkin' bag, I swear. He timed it like a movie. I waved to Karen. "See? Authorized landing." And that, my friend, is how I made the 6 o'clock news. Local paper 2 headline read, "HOA president blocks helipad, helicopter lands on her azaleas." It went viral faster than a cat stuck in a vending machine. Reddit got hold of it. I think someone made a TikTok remix of Karen screaming over rotor wash. She called the sheriff. Sheriff said, and I quote, "Ma'am, it's his land. You're trespassing. Also, you can't ground helicopters." She sputtered like a lawnmower with no gas, pointing at her fake cease and desist like it was the 10 Commandments. Sheriff gave her 2 choices, walk off or get escorted. But here's where it gets better. After that, I started getting letters from neighbors, emails, even handwritten notes slipped under my door. Turns out, I wasn't the only one. Karen had fined an Army vet for having a flagpole that was too aggressive, banned solar panels for reflective disturbance, cited a 73-year-old widow for painting her mailbox robin's egg blue, called it too whimsical. So I did what any red-blooded, regulation-reading American would do. I went to the county clerk, pulled the HOA bylaws. And guess what? Karen had been enforcing a bunch of amended rules that were never actually ratified. She just typed them up and stuck them in the newsletter, and nobody bothered to check. Classic HOA dictatorship move. That weekend, I hosted a barbecue on my lawn, the same lawn she swore was not zoned for public congregation. I invited everyone, even the ones she'd fined, into silence. One guy brought a karaoke machine. Someone's kid sang, "Let It Go." It was chaos. Beautiful chaos. And guess who showed up? Karen. In her hat, arms crossed, staring like she could burn down the grill with her mind. She marched up to me, waving her laminated clipboard like a damn sword. "You're in direct violation of—" I cut her off. "Of an HOA rule that doesn't exist?" "Yeah, I read the bylaws, Karen. You've been bluffing for years." And that's when her whole facade cracked. Right there, in front of half the neighborhood. She lunged for the mic, tried to shut the music down, ended up knocking over the nacho table and stepping in a bowl of queso. Someone filmed it. You bet it hit YouTube before she even limped home. By Monday, the petitions were already circulating. People had receipts, screenshots, proof she'd fined one guy twice for the same seasonal lawn gnome offense. They held an emergency HOA meeting that Thursday. Karen tried to run it like always, gavel in hand, voice all stern and fake official. But the board, which used to kiss the ring, voted 5-1 to remove her. One guy abstained. I think he just felt bad. Me? I brought popcorn. She was stripped of her title, forced to pay back thousands in illegal fines, and the best part, the county revoked her power to enforce anything without oversight. She's now just a neighbor. A bitter one, sure, but harmless. Last I saw her, she was replanting the section of lawn that got singed by the helicopter's downdraft. I waved. She didn't wave back, but she didn't scream, either. Look, I get it. HOAs serve a purpose. Keep things clean, organized, fair. But when someone turns that into a personal kingdom of ego and laminated lies, that's when you land a chopper on their petunias. So what do you think? Where's the line between protecting a community and abusing power in the name of it? Is a rule still a rule if it was never real? Drop a comment. Tell me your wild HOA stories, and don't forget to subscribe for more neighborly chaos.